Hi guys, Wednesday, and we're doing something a little different for classic rock. I'm not sure if it's rock, I'm not sure if it's folk, I'm not sure what it is. At some point they were kind of classified as folk pop. I don't know. Maybe what we can do after the show, if any of you have any ideas about this band, if you know it, if you've listened to it, or if you go off and listen to it after we talk about it today and get some ideas what we could call this music, love to hear it. Just leave a comment and let me know. The band I'm talking about is The Seekers. Now, last week a friend of mine had been to the secondhand store, picked up some albums and dropped them off for me saying, here's something you might be interested in. And this was one I had never heard before. Now, I'd say I don't really say I'm familiar with the Seekers, but I do know some of their tunes, and I'm sure you're going to know some of them as well. This is a band from Australia. I'm going to say early to mid-60s, kind of had some breakout hits. Georgie Girls, what the name of this album is, and of course, probably you all know that tune. It gives you some idea of the style of what they were doing. But there's some other songs when I started listening to it that I actually knew as well. Actually, it's surprising when I look at this. I'll just give you the idea what's on here because it's very diverse what they're doing. Georgie Girl, Yesterday by Lennon and McCartney. Last Thing on My Mind, Tom Paxton. All Over the World. We've got Red Rubber Ball. I don't know if you remember that tune. Band called Circle did it back in mid-60s. And it was a big hit for them. And I thought, well, that's funny. They're taking that, doing a cover of it. Turns out it's not a cover. They were the original people with the ball. Paul Simon and a guy here named Bruce Woodley actually wrote the ball, the Red Rubber Ball. Circle recorded it, but it's their tune. Again, you can hear their sound in it when you listen to the song, but it surprised me. Side 2, Come the Day, Island of Dreams, Turn, 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 Louisiana Man, California Dreamin'. They're kind of like a folk band. 2 guitars, upright bass, lead singer. The lead singer, Judith Dunham, just a great singer. She was excellent with this band. I'm just trying to see. I don't think they have any other players listed on here. No, Judith Durham, maybe. My mistake on that. If I got it wrong, it's Judith Durham. And what struck me as odd is I'm looking at the list, and they've got some songs of their own, again, very pop-oriented. But then they got the Beatles in there. We've got Mamas and the Papas. They record songs by Paul Simon. Actually, Red Rubber Ball, Paul Simon helped write that with Woodley. They've done other songs by Paul Simon. We got songs by Bob Dylan, Pete Seeger, and I know what you're going to say. Bob Dylan, Pete Seeger, that sounds just like the Byrds. Man, this couldn't be further from the Byrds. The Byrds, I mean, they were taking things electric. They were being classified as folk rock. They were giving it a whole new spin, but in that era, more rock was the theme. This one, it's more popish. I watched the video with them, and again, it looks like those traditional folk bands. I mean, you look at it and say, well, what's the difference than Peter, Paul, and Mary or the Kingston Trio or something like that, the way these guys are set up, but the music is nothing like that. You owe it to yourself just to give them a chance and check them out. They are on the streaming networks, lots of their music out there. And again, I was surprised at how many of their tunes I actually knew. When you heard it, you say, yeah, I recognize that from the radio, but I didn't know who it was. It was a great surprise getting this album and rediscovering this music from the early to mid-60s and the sound they were producing. And you can see why they had some hits with it. It was all very popular. But for me, it was very hard to classify, and it's just how easy I'd forgotten about them. Everything else came along, and the Byrds and, rock and everything, and you kind of lost track of what that was happening back then. But some very interesting music out of this band from Australia, breaking into the charts in North America with some very pop-oriented tunes. Again, if you listen to them and you can think of a better way to describe this band, I'd love to hear it because I was really interested in what I heard on here. And I remember saying to the girl that dropped it off, I don't even know what to say about this band because I don't know how to describe them or what they are. But, I love it. It's great stuff. So take a minute and check them out. It's a piece of history you're listening to, a piece of music from a certain era. It might not fly now, but back then It was very successful. And again, they were recording songs by the big hit makers. So, anyways, this one, Georgie Girl, I don't know if it's on the streaming networks. I did see a lot of other albums by them. But take a few minutes and check out The Seekers. You might be pleasantly surprised. Okay, that's it for today. See you on Friday when we're going to look at some more TV music. Till then, everybody take care. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you then.